Hello, English in Action. This is Dr. Donnelly, and I am going to talk to you about organizing your sources. In this class, you are going to use many sources that you are going to find. They're going to be unique to you. And a real challenge will be to make sure that you have organized them and that you can find them anywhere at any time, regardless of what computer you're using, whether you're at home or at school, those kinds of things. So, what I do to store and organize sources is I save all of my sources for a project that I'm working on the cloud. I use Office 365 usually, and I make a folder for all of my sources related to a particular topic that I'm researching or project that I'm working on, and I give them all a uniform name, and I save them all in there so that I know where they are. Some days I download a bunch of stuff, and I can keep it all in the same place so I can go back and read it later. And that way, when I think of an idea or I want to check a source, I know where to find it regardless of where I am. So what I'm going to do today is just show you how I set up my folder for my English in Action project. And obviously my English in Action project is related to English in Action. That's our community action project, is developing this class. So the topic that I'm researching, that I developed based on my conversations with colleagues and with my reading as we developed this course, is going to be about authentic writing tasks and authentic audiences. So basically that just means doing writing and communicating for something bigger or different than just learning how to write and communicate. You also want to get a job done. So that's my topic. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a folder where I'm going to store all my sources. So I'm logged onto 365. I'm going to click on OneDrive because that's where I can keep all of my folders and all of my files and all of my stuff. And I'm going to click on New and make a new folder because I need a folder to hold all of my EIA sources. And I will call my folder EIA Sources. Great. You could call it EIA Sources. You could call it EIA Sources about authentic tasks or whatever you want to call it. So it's created down here. If I want this to show things in newer to older, then it'll make it show up right at the top. So depending on how you have your files organized, you can make it show up right at the top. Another thing that's really useful about this folder and having it in the cloud is that I can share it with other people. So I could share it by clicking on this with different people, but more importantly, to manage it, I can also make a link by clicking copy link. And I can have this link here and copy that and paste it into my English in Action journal. So I can either highlight it and go to copy link, or if I wanted to, I could click on these three vertical dots and go to copy link, and that would do the same thing, and copy that. And paste that into my English in Action notebook. So now I've got this folder. I'm going to open it up. As we can see, it's empty. I haven't saved anything in it yet. So I'm just going to show you how I would save something in it. So here's an article that I found on authentic audiences and authentic writing. It's by Monica Burns. It's in Edutopia, which is, a website about education, usually a really good website. Not super academic, more kind of everyday information, quick information. So this is one of the first sources that I found. It's obviously a website, but I want to be able to access it whatever happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print it to a PDF. So I'm going to go to File, Print. Don't want to actually print it. You can, but I'm not doing that. And you can see that it's rendered it into a PDF, a 4-page PDF. And instead of printing it, I'm going to say that I'm going to open it in Preview. You can open it in whatever reader you have. And in preview, I can click up here and save it to my desktop by opening this up and choosing where I want it to go. You could also go to File, Save, and it would do the same thing. And I gotta name it. I name everything using the same naming convention. I always use the author's last name, is Burns, the year that it was published so that I know how recent it is, and then a short version of the title. So I'm calling it Value of an Authentic Audience. And I'm just going to throw that on my desktop for now so that I can then move it into my folder. So that's done. Love it. I can close that out and go back to my folder. So now I want to put my file that I put in my desktop on my folder, open up my Finder window, Burns 2016 Value of an Authentic Audience, and I'm just going to drag that and drop that right in there. And now I have one source, The Value of an Authentic Audience by Burns, written in 2016. So that's basically what I'll keep doing, and I'll keep adding material to this so that whatever I read that I think is interesting, I have access to. By sharing the link, my teachers have access to, and I can go back and reference it whenever I need to. So that's what you're going to do to save your sources. And I can't wait to looking through all of your beautiful and well-organized files. All right. Thanks, guys, and have fun saving your sources.